Alright everyone, there are two happy links in the description. One is to a Subscribestar post that was made the other day by Bitchute. They have now achieved 100% of their funding goal, which means that now things are going to heat up on the site. If you don't have a Bitchute account and you're a creator, or if you have one but you neglect it, like you never tell anyone you have it and or you haven't made sure it's actually auto-loading the material, because I know that there are creators that have had that problem and they don't appear to do anything about it. You're nuts. If you're not using at least 2 or 3 alt tech sites at this point and you're making content, Jesus. I'm going to be reporting later about 4 Democratic senators trying to pressure YouTube to purge more people on a blatantly politically biased basis, literally encouraging them to throw away whatever remnant underpinning there is to free expression on the site. And there are people that are relying on YouTube for their paycheck. You got to be nuts. Look, it doesn't really take that much effort to invest in alt tech. They are now 100% funded, and so there will be also a link in the description of my channel there, and I'll pin these links as well in a pinned comment for those of you on YouTube. Get on there. You should follow me. I'm just shy of 110,000 subscribers. It's hard to get that on YouTube, let alone a site that's considerably smaller, but I have a feeling there's going to be a growth spurt because here are some of the announced things. There's going to be high def, so it'll no longer be 720 only as the highest. I think they'll include 1080, so that's one thing for people. Another thing is they're going to roll out something called Live Shoot that will be for live streaming, and it will have a super chat option embedded in. I will probably begin doing my live streams on Bitchute. I realize that means that there might be fewer people watching, but I mean, to be able to, you know, actually read all of the super chats, barring anything illegal or like defamatory, it would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit more free expression than you have YouTube, where literally if the super chat is too bawdy, the ADL will take your money. That's not even a joke. And also audio only mode. Now this is something that people talked about. Apparently a lot of people, if they're like on the go and shit, they'll have their phone, they have like apps and shit for YouTube too, and it'll be audio only. And I guess is it data related, or is it just because they don't want their phone screen on, like, you know, they're driving along and they just want to listen to a podcast or something. It's a good idea. I remember back when YouTube was younger, a lot of people wanted them to include a feature to allow you to upload audio. To have, you know, not just video on the site, but also to do audio. And I guess this is sort of the compromise is you have to upload it in video, but people can still just listen to it. So for music and stuff, who gives a fucking shit about seeing the album art? If you're in your car, I hope you're not staring at the Iron Maiden cover. The songs of faith and devotion, looking at Dave's excellent hair or something. So Bitchute has broken, it seems, through containment. That's, what is it, $30,000 a month to work with. That is capable of supporting, apparently, that sort of site. And they're also working on further decentralization. I guess the idea is the more decentralized you make the video platform, the less the company has to handle on its own front end, the cheaper it is. And potentially the more reliable it is. And this is something that's been dabbled in with Library/Odyssey. It's been dabbled in with other sites as well, and it does seem to have benefits. It does seem to work. As long as you have a large enough network of people that are online at any given time, they could potentially give a little bit to the site, a little bit of bandwidth essentially, and it helps the site as well. I think there's still, they had something where you could mine, what was it? You could mine crypto actually as a form of like basically a soft donation. You could mine crypto for Bitchute for a while. I think that the initial program doesn't work or something. I think I'd have to go and look at it. But also, this also benefits another alt tech site, which is Subscribestar. Because I can't remember what cut they take, but I know that's several $1,000s a month that they're receiving too. That in and of itself alone, for a site that doesn't stream anything, it just hosts basically profiles and transactions, is certainly enough of a budget to keep that site running. That also benefits me. I find that the symbiosis between Subscribestar and Bitchute is great. I think not only is it wonderful, it helps stabilize both sites. One site is being facilitated in raising money, therefore able to grow, to improve, and apparently the user base is skyrocketing. And the other side is taking a cut of that, and in the process actually helping other creators, because half of them use Subscribestar as well. I find it great. By the way, Subscribestar, I'm on that as well. I use it preferentially now to Patreon. You can actually tip people one time as opposed to just recurrent, which is another advantage. This is the thing that we're seeing with alt tech. across the platform, it doesn't matter what site you're talking about, is it's more innovation. That because of the stress on the internet currently. Larger sites, they lock things down. They don't have to innovate. There's no reason for YouTube to innovate. It's already got a maximized audience anyway. Therefore, if you want to compete with them, especially when you have hit pieces being written about you in the media, you have attacks on your computing systems and so forth by people who are disgruntled by your free speech views, you have to innovate. You have to work harder. You have to try harder, and that helps endear you to your fan base. Any site that has tens of millions of users, I would think, at some point breaks through all possible containment. At that point, the only thing they can do is try to use the legal system to shut you down, or they can try to buy you out. And of course, I don't think that that's going to happen. Again, once the site is solvent, there's no reason to sell out. This is another frustrating thing. A lot of the early wave like tech sites, they sold out to larger companies, and then they got more consolidated and monopolization happened. Now we're reaping the unfortunate rewards of that particular situation back in the 2000s especially. I would think that once your site is funded to that level, when you've got all this on, I mean, you've got an app, you've got BitSlide, so at least half the smartphone users now can use an app, which is important. You got Comment Freely, which allows free speech commentary on Bitchute. I think another thing, they need to tweak search. In all honesty, search, the biggest weakness is that for the desktop user, the search function is still primitive. It's better than it was, but it doesn't return results nearly as well. And part of that is because people will upload videos and they're not including any searchable hashes. So Bitchute needs to, on the upload page itself, it should have a setting, I think, that forces you to put in the 3 tags. This would be similar to Brighteon, actually. You have to have at least 3 tags in there in order to actually upload the video. That would make the site more searchable. Yeah, it's an extra step. It takes 10 seconds. It's not a big problem. I think it would help the site. And also, just so people are aware, I am still the largest user on site. However, I'm not sure I'll be the first to 120,000. I think that InfoWars may jump me in line, and X22 report potentially, and BPS I think has like, 83,000. By the end of the year, there will probably be 4 users on the site with over 100,000 subscribers. By the end of next year, I'd be surprised if it wasn't possibly hundreds of people. It has become a dynamic community. There's a lot more fan participation. If I look at the view count and then I look at the number of comments, the ratio is no different than YouTube. The amount of, in fact, on the exclusive videos, I think that the amount of engagement is higher per person that watches the video as opposed to YouTube. It's got more engagement. And keep in mind, anytime you're on a site which is cast off as being hateful and evil and despicable, that's where all the cool people are. YouTube used to get labeled that, 15 years ago. Oh my god, YouTube is full of weird shit. It's full of Tourette's guy and weird black metal music videos and weird shit. What's this ASMR stuff? It's creepy. So it built the fucking site. So now you've got all the new stuff. It simply needs to be more searchable. You need high def, obviously. And having live streaming function, it's another way, number one, for the site to make money, and it's another way to compete with YouTube. I think it's great. Yeah, it's really taken off. So yeah, again, links in the description and pinned in a comment on YouTube. You should join me on Bitchute, and I'll be soon the first person at 110,000 subs. If enough people join, I might be able to stay ahead of InfoWars enough to hit 120. But I think their rate of incline is higher than mine at the moment, and so at some point they will become the largest channel on the platform, unless like PewDiePie makes a Bitchute video tomorrow and says, oh yeah, by the way, there's this other site, Make Me King or something, which by the way would be hilarious. Can you imagine how funny that'd be? Probably fry the servers at that point, but there are still plenty of people with large web presences. They don't capitalize upon any non-mainline alternative, and I just don't understand, because I've been doing it for 3 years. And it's paying off enormous dividends. Look, I sleep much better at night knowing that I have a 6-figure user base population on a website that's not censorious and quickly rising. I think I've got almost 20,000 people subscribed on Odyssey. I got a bunch of people following on Brighteon. Brighteon is a speck in a goddamn ocean, and yet the amount of viewership there is rising, stable. Dailymotion is hilarious. By the way, Parler finally fixing the problem of automatic autoplay from Dailymotion posts. So you can go to my Parler page and you don't get fried by 3 versions of me speaking at you like a hydra about 3 totally different things. That's about all. Peace out.